Faut rester concentré. Faut rester concentré. Chelsea versus PSG. Final of the inaugural FIFA Club World Cup. And I'd first like to start off this video by giving a reason as to why I'm wearing this PSG kit specifically. This PSG kit, I'll go and say, is a PSG kit that started the whole adventure off. I'd say from 2013, that's when I go and call myself a true PSG supporter. That's when I really started watching games, week in, week out, Champions League. And this year, with this kit, my first memories is getting knocked out in the Champions League to a 𝐒𝐓𝐿𝐾𝐼𝙎 goal. To a 𝐒𝐓𝐿𝐾𝐼𝙎 goal. And yes, later on, we went and beat them, I believe, the next year. Beat them, I think, the year following that. But that 2013-14 Champions League campaign, where I think Chelsea got knocked out in the semis to Atletico Madrid, I will never forget it. I will never forget it. And we need to go and we need to smack the Chelseas. We need to smack these these Blues. But before coming on to that, let's not harp on the past. Let's talk about what's going to happen here. First and foremost, I'd like to go on and say that there's been a lot of discourse that, oh my goodness, this game is done. PSG's going to smack Chelsea, this, that, and the other, blah, 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 blah. Whoa, 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 whoa. Even me, as a PSG fan, I'm confident in my team. But guys, it's a football game. It's a football game. Anything can happen in football. All right? Let's not go and say the game is done before it's done. Voilà. We've seen it in the past. Teams that are not expected to go and win. Chelsea as an example, for example, when they faced Bayern Munich in 2012. They weren't expected to win. Look what happened. Now, I'm not going to go and say, PSG is similar, so on and so forth. But, just as an example. But obviously, I think it's also important to state that PSG are obviously heavy favorites in this game. And I want, at this point, before I just wanted, a cheeky win, we go through, win the tournament, we're done. But now, especially with the discourse of some of these teams, people coming out, so on and so forth, and now seeing how dominant this PSG team has been, only conceding one goal, a singular goal in this entire FIFA Club World Cup. Obviously the comparisons, and especially with the Champions League campaign as well, there's been the discussions on where does this team rank all time in terms of the club season, so on and so forth. And oh my goodness, the disrespect PSG have been getting. Just for that alone, I want us to go and smack Chelsea. Just for us to go and smack Chelsea, and especially to some of the Prem tards out there. Because at this point right now, the only thing that is keeping the Premier League's integrity whole is Chelsea and Spurs. What les mecs? Paris, 2 more games. 2 more games. Today and the 13th of August. Voilà. Mais comme j'ai dit, faut rester concentré. We need to take this game seriously. The PSG players were asked, with everything how you've been going, the Champions League final, beating Madrid, beating Bayern, beating all these teams, can't you get a bit overconfident, so on and so forth? 𝐻�10 was asked this question. He said, no. Listen, man. At the end of the day, it's 90 minutes of football. We need to go and take this game seriously, and we want to win this competition. That's the right mindset. Whereas on the other side of the aisle, Chelsea, Reece James and 𝐒𝐓𝐾𝐃 were, throwing hostilities. Even the coach was asked, are you going to be prepared to suffer? He's like, who said that? Who said that? Listen, I understand, you want to, seem confident, have a bit of bravado. Don't, submit yourself, but at least you can go and say that. If you want to go and say, okay, yes, I think, especially with PSG, they're one of the best teams in the world. There's obviously going to be moments where we're going to be in a difficult time, but we're also going to have times and moments. That's what he said. But to go and say, who said that? Who said, I know you disagree. I hope we smacked him. I hope we smack him. I hope we smack him. I hope we smack him. 𝐒𝐓𝐾𝐃 was saying, oh, we're not Real Madrid. We're not Inter Milan. We're not this. Listen. I'm not one typically because oftentimes it comes against PSG, but okay, at some point y'all need to be a bit humble. Look at your run thus far. I don't know where you're getting all this gas from. Voilà, calma, calm down. But hey, we'll see, and especially some of the Chelsea fans, I'm seeing some of the combined 11s, and I will say it right now. If we did a PSG Chelsea combined 11, it's the easiest thing right now this season. The only Chelsea player that I think gets into a PSG squad is Moses Caicedo. Other than that, forget it. Cole Palmer doesn't get in. João Pedro doesn't get in. Noni Madueke, Pedro Neto, none of them. The only one is Caicedo. And even Caicedo, I'm not even sure he's better than Fabian this season. I'm not sure he's better than Fabien Ruiz this season. If I'm lying, I'm dying. If I'm lying, I'm dying. Voila. What are you going to say now? Fabien Ruiz, brace against Real Madrid. Senor, Fabian, my bad. The midfield were better. Defensively, we're better. Keeper, we're better. Attack, we're better. There's not a single domain where Chelsea's better than us. Our squad size. That's the only thing. But obviously, again, as I said previously, the game is not played on paper. It's played on the pitch. And it'll be interesting to go and see how PSG face up, what type of tactics, what's going to be our starting 11. I'm assuming it's probably going to be the same thing as Madrid. Luis Enrique in that game took off a lot of the big players. Doué came off, Dembele came off, Kvara came off, Nuno came off, Fabian came off. So I'll get, a bit more rest. Doesn't seem to be any injuries. There's not many, travel. They're staying in New York. So everything seems ready for us to go and win. And I'll go and talk about my predictions now. My overall prediction, first of all, I'll get that out of the way. I think it's going to be 2-0 PSG. I think that this is the final, yes. But I do think that Chelsea are going to put a bit more of a fight, put more resistance than Real Madrid did. Because Real Madrid, the reason they got absolutely completely played off the park, I think, is their defensive errors and the lack of press. The laziness of their players. Now in this game, it's going to be a bit different. It's still going to be played, if I'm not mistaken, at the same time over there in New York. But I think Chelsea, there's not many egos. I think people are going to be a lot more willing to run. So I don't think they're gonna fall into that same trap. But still, I just think that press that PSG has, the passing, the intricacies, the fluidity of the attack, all those things, I just don't think Chelsea's seen that. I mean, no disrespect, to Chelsea and the teams they've played, but the last big game you can say Chelsea played was what? Against what? Liverpool in the league, a Liverpool side that, had just come off winning the league and heavily rotated their squad. Yes, they did beat them, but it's not, you didn't beat, a prime Liverpool in good form. So we'll see. And this is probably going to be definitely by far Chelsea's biggest test. It'll be interesting to see who they go up with. It's going to be João Pedro, Liam Delap. I don't think Nicolas Jackson getting a shout. Is Moses Caicedo even going to be fit? Because there's been concerns of, is he going to be fit? Do you push him to be fit if things don't go and he's injured even longer? Luckily, you can argue that, we're at the end of the season now. So if there's any time to push, especially for a trophy on the line, it's now. And especially given that this will probably be Chelsea's biggest trophy because, we can say whatever you want, however you feel about the Club World Cup. But guys, come on, let's be honest. The FIFA Club World Cup is bigger than the Conference League. Why not? If you disagree with that, leave the video. But yeah, it's a moment, it's a time for PSG to go and to cement their history, to be the first ever club to go and win the Champions League and the FIFA Club World Cup with this new edition of it. In the history books, the first ever team to do the double. People will say it's the only first time we could. Yeah, that's the whole point. But, as I said before, faut rester concentré. It's not a given. Football is not played on paper. It's played on the pitch. And that's what we've done. And hopefully, I'm confident in my team. I'm confident in our players' abilities. Confident in everybody. I think everything that we can do. I'm confident in our fans because we're going to be heard last time. Unfortunately, last time, we played against Real Madrid, the biggest club in the world. So, obviously, we were outnumbered. But, pero, that final, I'm going to say, are going to see why I say PSG is one of the biggest clubs in the world. When I say, PSG is bigger than Arsenal, PSG is bigger than Chelsea, people call me crazy. So tonight, we'll see. I already seen some, pictures, PSG Ultras at Times Square. People were shocked. Hey, I thought we're a small club. Does a small club move like that? ¿Qué fue? We move like that. For a small club, we don't move like that. But the best is yet to come. Le méchant Paris Saint-Germain. Faut tout racler. We take everything. No mercy. And the good thing is, because this is the final, no rotation, or the only rotation or the changing of, doing late subs is going to be at the end if the game is already done. But this time, no. We need to be like we did against Inter Milan. Surgical. No mercy. Faut abattre l'adversaire. We need to absolutely cook them. Completely cook them. And hopefully we do it. But yeah, that's my prediction for the game. It's going to be an interesting final. I'm going to go and be honest. This Club World Cup, and I think I'll make a video after the competition actually ends. It's been a surprise, and I massively underestimated it. Now, do I think it's the best thing ever to come? Not yet. It has a lot of potential. but the atmosphere, the intensity, the narratives around these things, it's helped. You've got a PSG Real, you've got a Bayern versus PSG, you've had Atletico versus you had big games, upsets, all this thing. I think it's gonna be a tournament for the future. But first and foremost, PSG, let's focus on winning the game first, and we can have all these discussions afterwards. See you guys later tonight on Watch Along. And with that, thank you very much. And remember, stay safe, stay kind, and stay blessed. Godspeed.